Hey there, everyone. It's Brave here again. I'm from the UK, and my channel is talking about this crazy thing called life. Many different topics, males and females, how we interact in relationships, how people of different cultures interact, negatives and positives, So just stay tuned and hope you enjoy the content. And if you do, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Right, so the topic today is sex is not love. And I'm going to start talking about my experience as a young person when I was younger. I'm an adult now, but when I was like a teenager, and I remember getting super, super confused by males around my own age approaching me and being overtly sexual in their speech, or making it clear they wanted sexual encounters, because I was a virgin and I was brought up Christian, and I had it in my head that I really need to be married before that happens. And I wasn't judging other teenagers, and when I say a teenager, I'm talking about 18, 19, not younger than that, when I started being approached with obvious offers. And these were good looking guys, and so it was a little bit weird because I was like, wow, this guy's really good looking, but at the same time, is he going to marry me? So I kind of made it clear, even though I was a young 18-year-old, I was like, hey, I want to be married. And especially coming from a background where my parents had a really messed up relationship, and the dad abandoned the family, and growing up having to, like from 12 years old, having to be like a parent, really almost having to be head of the household, being given jobs and chores that my mum should be doing. She was making me do these things, and so I had to get mature real quick and take care of my mum and help her. And she had, like bipolar issues and personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder issues, and so did my dad. So I had these crazy parents who were very violent and very weird, and they weren't acting like all the other parents I saw around me, all the other adults around me. Some of them were acting normal, but then I could see that my family, something was off with the adults in my family, and most of the adults in my community were very violent and not, getting married and not settling down. So there's a lot of, like, what I saw growing up, I didn't want to be like. Even though they were calling themselves Christians, they were fake, fake hypocrites, basically. So yeah, so basically, when I was, seeing a guy I liked, my first thought was, I wish we could get engaged. I wish we could get married. That was my first thought. And yeah, there was an incident where this person approached me, and he knew I already had this idea in my head that I want to be married, and I won't do anything before marriage or whatever. And it was so irritating because he got on my nerves a bit because he was so rude. I'm really like, if you're nice to me, I'm nice to you. But if you're rude to me, I want to say the most vile, disgusting things to hurt you. Once I see you're being rude to me for no reason, all bets are off, the gloves are off, I'm going after you. Everything that would hurt you, everything disgusting, I'm going to say it to you, because I feel like you deserve it, because you did it to me first. You started on me first, basically. And it's a respect thing. It's like, if you don't disrespect me, I'll never disrespect you. You treat me good, I'll treat you better. That's how I see it. And a lot of people don't understand that, but oh well, that's your it's none of my business if you don't understand my ways, but leave me alone then, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I remember this guy was annoying. He was smarmy and smug, and he had a big head, and he had like the looks that all the girls at the time wanted. So he knew he looked good, and he had girls throwing themselves at him, but for some reason he wanted me because I wasn't throwing myself at him, and we were the same age, about 18. um and I remember we worked in the same shop, like a little sports shop, while I was studying and working to help my mum and whatever. And I just remember he would follow me around everywhere I go. He's there. If I'm in the stock room, he's there. If I go to get some clothes to tag him and put them out, he's there. Suddenly he wants to be everywhere I am, and I'm like, what the hell's going on with this guy? Like, one minute he was really rude and nasty, and now suddenly he can't do enough. Oh, let me carry that. Oh, let me help that. Oh, you going to lunch? Let me come with you. Oh, you getting that bus home? I can get that bus halfway to my, real clingy all of a sudden. And I was like, this is a bit weird. But then I started to feel like, oh, maybe he really likes me then. He's trying so hard to be in my way and be next to me. He must want to engage to me, or he must want to date me, and then we'll get engaged and then we'll get married. So I was getting confused, like, wow, this, maybe this is how this is my destiny kind of thing. I was getting real confused, like, not seeing it for what it was, not seeing the potential danger of him tricking me, which it was a trick, by the way, and we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll give him a chance because he seems to be trying. And I remember, like, what was it that happened? Let me think. Because this is a story from a while back, so I'm trying to gather all the information. Hold on. So yes, I remember now. My mum had bought me a ring for one of my birthdays, and I stupidly wore the ring to work, and it was a beautiful ring with a little tiny diamond, so I shouldn't have been wearing it to a dumb sports shop job, right? But I wore the ring to work, and it was a little bit loose for my finger, so it fell off. And then I couldn't find it. It rolled somewhere, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I'm bent over, kind of looking under, cabinets and arms, the metal arm that holds all the clothes that are on hangers and whatever. And I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm panicking because I'm thinking, oh, my mum's going to be mad that I lost the ring, and it was kind of expensive. And so then he sort of pat me on the bum and was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Ew, don't touch me," because I was a virgin and I'd never been touched by anyone. And so I was like, "Ew, don't touch me," and he was like, "Oh, sorry." And then I was like, "I've lost this ring. That ring I was wearing earlier, it's gone. Like, can you help me find it?" So he somehow found the ring. I don't know where he looked, but he found the ring, and then he brought it over and was like, "Oh, is this it?" And I was like, "Yes, oh my God." And I went to grab the ring and he pulled it away, like as if to say, "Oh, it's mine now," kind of action. I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like, "No, no, I think I deserve a kiss for like finding the ring." And I was like, "In your dreams, like give me the ring." And I kind of was like, "What a loser!" Like, and then he was like, "No, no, just give me a quick kiss and then I'll give you the ring." And then I was like, "Oh, you think I won't?" Like, so I took it as a challenge, like, "Oh, you think because I'm a virgin I'm scared to kiss you?" Like, because it was like the shop was shut because there were no customers, and we were like, this was in the morning, I think, when we were like unpacking stock and the delivery had just come in, and so it's just a few staff around. So then I just gave him a quick peck on the lips and then grabbed the ring and sort of pushed him away. And then I didn't care how it made him feel. I didn't do it to make him feel good. I did it almost like a dare, like if someone says, "Oh, I dare you to drink a shot," and you're like, "Oh, you think I won't?" That kind of thing. And then I remember, what was it like? Oh, I remember now. And then after that, really started following me around, and I was like, oh my God! Like everywhere I go, he's changed his shift, so his shift will be the same day as me, the same time as me, And I was like, this guy, like. And then I started to feel a bit impressed, like, oh, okay, he actually changed his shift to be on shift only with me. Like, that's weird, but also flattering. So then I was like, okay, let me give him a bit more attention, whatever. And then I was like, oh, hey, like my parents are going, well, my mum's not going to be home, and like you can come over and have pizza and watch films or whatever. I got some new DVDs. And he was like, oh, okay, good. And I wasn't even thinking like, oh, we're going to have sex, because I didn't know what sex was. And I'm not thinking of that because we're not married yet or whatever. And then so when we end up going to my house and stuff, and then it was kind of funny. I thought I'd mess with him, like do a prank on him. And we're walking. Now I'm from a rough part of like I won't say the area's name, but basically I grew up in a rough area, and I'm from the UK, but I'm not going to say which city. But I'm from the UK, and so there was this sort of half burnt out house that hadn't been demolished, but it was like no windows, graffiti all over it on the corner. And so we had to walk past this house. And then I'm walking towards the house, and I go into the gate of the like half burnt down squat derelict building, and you should have saw the look on his face. It was so funny. Has he thought, oh my God, is she a squatter in this disgusting like building? And so I was like, well, come on then. And he was like, is this where you live? And I was like, of course it isn't, you dick. Like, of course it isn't, stupid. Like, but I just thought that was really funny. I always remembered that. And then I was like, do I look like I live here? Like, for real? Like, and then we were laughing about it. And then we walked to my house. And I'm not from a rich or a poor family. I'm just working class, you know. And then, so we get to my house. And then I remember, you know, he's trying to get me to do things, and I'm laughing like, ha, we're not engaged, so yeah, good luck with that. And then, but then he's starting to get smart now and think, well, she's not like these other girls, I can't talk to her the same way. So he's picking up now, he's being forced to think, you know, to think, how can I trick her, because she's just not falling for all the dumb stuff that the other ones, you don't have to say anything and they're throwing themselves at me. And then he started to talk about religion, and then I was like, oh, you brought up Christian, and he was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh. And then so he's got my attention now, he's trying to talk about, yeah, you're right, you know, sex before marriage is a good idea. But then he sort of said, yeah, but what if you engage to someone, get engaged, or what if you get married and, you know, they're not good in bed, or you find out they're a horrible person, or won't those things matter to you? So now he's starting to have a more sensible conversation, making me think like, okay, maybe, yeah, maybe he's right, you know. And then so I started to feel a little bit connected to him, right? Because he was trying to, you know, he's trying to trick me, but I didn't know this. And then so I'm thinking, oh, he really wants to know my opinion or whatever. And so I'm trying to, you know, connect with him and have a deep conversation, because I was always really mature, super mature for my age, even though I was just 18. From like 12 upwards, I was super mature. Like, adults used to come and ask me for advice because I was so mature, and I was really tall. Like at 10 years old, I was like 5'8" or 5'7". So by the time I got to like 18, I was like 5'11". I was huge and tall, but I was feminine and slender, but I was really tough. And I'm still tough because I had to be. I had to know how to throw a punch and take a punch and not be afraid. And my parents were really violent, you know, used to sort of hit us with a belt. So I wasn't as scared of a little punch when I, you know, had violent parents and violent relatives. I wasn't scared of anyone. So, and I'm grateful to be this tough. I don't care if anyone says females shouldn't be tough. They should shut the hell up, because they haven't lived the life I had to live. So it kept me alive and safe, and I protected others by being this tough. So I'm